Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TPM5 here, back with another NBA video. In today's video I'll be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors on opening night. It's that time of the year, NBA is back after a long summer, and we're back with another season of basketball. Now just a quick fact before I get into the Lakers side of the preview. The Los Angeles Lakers from 10 years from 2011 season to 2021 season, on opening night they had a record of 2-8. And more recently in the LeBron James era, they're 0-3, that being from 2018-19 through until 2020-2021. So obviously, it's been a bit of a struggle. Now that all can just be attributed to the roster turnover when LeBron's on the team. But let's get started with the Lakers side of the preview. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers had a gut-wrenching loss to the Phoenix Suns. However, that was down to quite a few injuries. The Lakers during the preseason were 0-6, and they struggled to really get a rhythm going on offense. Now, it is the preseason, and we shouldn't read too much into it, but, that's worth noting. They kind of struggled to start with. They played 6 games, as I mentioned before, one being against Brooklyn and one being against Sacramento, and they faced the Warriors twice and the Phoenix Suns twice as well. Over the course of those games, they shot 42% from the field and 34% from 3. So obviously not how they would have wanted to go, but it's just the preseason. Now during that time, LeBron James was leading the way, averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists in very minimal minutes, followed by Anthony Davis, who was averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds and 2.2 assists. Guys like Malik Monk and Talen Horton-Tucker performed pretty well, and Melo showed us what he could do, actually shooting a higher 3-point percentage than field goal percentage. Now, when we look at the injury list, we know that Talen Horton-Tucker and Trevor Ariza are going to be out on opening night, so that weakens up the shooting guard / wing spots. And at this point in time, as marked on ESPN, October 17th, Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk, and Wayne Ellington all are listed day to day. They all didn't participate in the most recent practice on Sunday, so there is a bit of injury issues for the Lakers. Now, on opening night, I expect them to roll out with a lineup that has Russ at point guard, making his regular season debut for the team. I'm going to assume that Malik Monk will be able to get up for the game. I have him down in the shooting guard spot. You could also put guys like Kent Bazemore in there as well. And then, LeBron James at small forward, as he doesn't have to do that point guard role as they have Westbrook now. Anthony Davis will get the start at power forward, and then Dwight Howard should be the starting center. I expect him to play an equal amount of minutes as DeAndre Jordan. Now, you could alternatively put AD at center, shift LeBron, keep him in the small forward spot, and then shift Carmelo Anthony into power forward. Regardless of that, I expect the team to have good depth as Rajon Rondo, DeAndre Jordan, and, I expect that some of Kendrick Nunn and Wayne Ellington and Malik Monk will be able to get up for the game. Now, the injury issues aren't what you want to have on opening night, but this team still has more depth than what people will give them credit for. And, I think the key for the Lakers will be the turnovers. That was something they were struggling for, in the preseason. Obviously, the intensity is down. They're not as focused, but still, it's habits. Now, just a quick break before I get into the Warriors side of things. I make NBA content 2 to 3 times a week. I make content for many other teams as well. So if you'd like to subscribe and, support the channel, I'd heavily appreciate it. But now, as you guys can see, we're going to move on to the Golden State Warriors side of things for the preview. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, the Golden State Warriors won every game they played in the preseason, having a 5-0 record. They had a very good, defensive rating at 98.2, which was something that they were surprisingly good at last year, being the 10th rated team in terms of defensive rating throughout their regular season. Now, this is the year they're going to be getting back Klay Thompson, and, many people are expecting the Warriors to come back and be contenders, as they're going to have that big 3 from before Durant playing, and they've added, some youth like Kuminga and Moody to the team, and they have Wiseman from the 2020 draft as well. Now, Klay's not going to be back straight away, so I think that, as you see on screen, Wiggins just did that dunk. I think Wiggins is going to have a pretty important role when it comes to scoring. However, Wiggins is a notoriously inefficient player, and throughout the 4 games we saw him in the preseason, that wasn't, anything different, shooting 35 from the field and 22% from 3-point land. Now, Wiggins is going to need to step up and be efficient. I think that before, he can take that second to third kind of scoring option role on this team, and then when Klay comes back, you probably shift him down to the third option. Throughout the preseason, Steph Curry was amazing. In 23 minutes per game, he averaged 25 points, along with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Guys like Jordan Poole and Otto Porter really carved out a role for themselves, with Poole averaging 22 points per game, making himself a sleeper contender for Most Improved Player of the Year, and Otto Porter established himself as a key rotational player, averaging 13 points throughout the preseason. Now, when looking, it's just the preseason, but we get kind of a bit of a glimpse of what the rotations are going to look like and how players fit together. And the Warriors, obviously from their 5-0 record, were very good together. Now, when the season starts, I expect them to trot out a lineup of Steph Curry at point guard. Obviously, no question about that. Jordan Poole can probably get the start at shooting guard. He, is a very good kind of player for them. He can shoot the ball and he fits in very well. At small forward, Andrew Wiggins is likely to get the start over Otto Porter. Draymond Green, doing a bit of everything for them, gets the nod at power forward. And then Kevon Looney can start at center. Now, James Wiseman's out indefinitely, I believe, so I think that'll be why Kevon Looney is more likely to get the start. And then guys like Jonathan Kuminga are also questionable for opening night, but their bench is going to be very beefed up with guys like Iguodala, Porter Jr., Damian Lee, Moses Moody, and possibly Juan Toscano Anderson, Bielitsa, and Chris Chiosa making an appearance off the bench. So this Warriors team has a lot of depth, probably a bit more depth than the Lakers at this point in time, given that the Lakers are heavily impacted by injury. I think the key to this game will be the turnovers and also the three-point shooting, which is something the Warriors probably have the edge on the Lakers for. However, I think the Lakers just have too much star power. Despite some questionable fits at time, I think the Lakers will get the win over the Warriors, and it's going to be a theme for the year. I think the Lakers may not individually play better, but as a collective, they're probably going to edge out their opponents. Now, that's the end of the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment what you guys think will happen. Peace out. Catch you next time.